So now on this task here, we're looking at using a light source. So we're going to use curved shading to turn the circles into spheres, but it's important to know where the light is coming from. So on this sphere here, the light is going to hit from this direction. This sphere here, the light is shining right down on this section here, and on this one, it's here. Judging by the distance of the object to the light source depends on how big or little the light area is going to be. So because this one is nice and close to the light source, that light area is going to be quite big. This one here is a little bit further away, so just a little bit smaller, and this one here, it's just going to be about just a little bit smaller than that one there. So when you are mapping out your light sources, you draw it really softly, because as we can see on this example here, we're going to have a shaded side to the sphere, and then it's going to blend very gently into the white of the page. So once you've got those mapped out, the next bit, I'm going to show you how to shade a sphere, do it in a controlled manner. So we know that this side of the sphere is going to be light, and this side is going to be dark. So we're going to start off with the dark area, and we're going to do a gradient, as we can see in this example, a gradient to the light area, which a gradient means you're blending from dark to light. I've taught you that with shading, we always follow the longest line of the shape. Now this shape is just one big long line, and it's nice and curved. So we're going to follow the outside line, and we're going to try our best to have our shading parallel to the outside line. So I'm going to start off dark, and I'm going to move in nice and gentle, and when I get to this point, it's really nice and light. Now, I'm not going to stick with that direction because the outside line curves this direction over here. So I'm going to follow that over here. So I'm just going to map out for myself the different directions that we're looking at here. I'd curve this direction over here because the outside line curves like that there. Over here it curves this way. So I'm going to start dark, and I'm going to come in nice and light. Now up here, because the light is hitting it here, I'm going to be very gentle with my pencil. I'm not going to put any shadow there, and I'm going to bring it in just like that. Now by curving our shading, we're going to make something look round. We're setting the direction for the eye to move in. If you go a little bit too heavy, just remember to use your rubber, but use it in an artistic way, so curving with a rubber just like you would with a pencil. Now you've set up your direction around that sphere, you're just going to fill in the gaps. So we're moving from dark because the light is hitting over here, so this is nice and dark over here. Moving from dark, and as we come in, it's getting lighter and lighter. And just use this as a reference. Every time you add a little bit of shading, just make sure you are following that outside edge. So it curves that way, and as I come in, getting lighter. Now a bad example, so there we see a good example. A bad example would be somebody shading like this. I'm trying to do far too much at once. It doesn't look as round as that one does. It's a little bit rushed. And I do get students that do that, but please just do a tiny area at a time. It'll be much more controlled, much more skillful. And before we add any shadows, we're going to go on and we're going to have a little look at practicing this skill 3 times. So just doing a small area at a time, just to map out your direction. If your pencil's looking a little bit blunt, make sure it's nice and sharp, because that's where we get the most detail with our shading, when your pencil is nice and sharp. And there we go, and then we're moving on to this one. So we're shading and curving, going from dark to light in a different angle now.